everyone, and welcome back to Office Hours here at the Professor's Kitchen, where I sit down in my office with my beverage of choice and I attempt to teach you a little something. Except I'm not teaching you anything tonight. I'm not even going to try. I'm too tired, so I'm going to sit here and drink my wine and just chat for a bit. Why not? After a busy couple of months focusing on Black History Month in February and Women's History Month in March, I'm pleased to say that I think everything went pretty well. Yay! I didn't get everything right every time, but I learned a lot, and I am very grateful for all of the love and support and encouragement that I've gotten both here at the Professor's Kitchen YouTube channel and on the Professor's Kitchen Instagram page. So thank you to everyone. And a special thank you to my two guests who were gracious enough to come and be interviewed. My sister Annika over at Brooke Blaze and my friend Shamika Ingram from Preservation in Color. Cheers, ladies. I should put this down before I get drunk. Okay. They were both kind enough to share their stories about success and failure and following their passions and doing what they love. So again, thank you to both ladies, and thank you to all of you who watched those videos. I have a big announcement for the direction in which I like to go with this channel, so stick around for the very end of the video while I will make the big announcement about what I'm doing next month. But first, I would like to reflect on the past 2 months. Beginning in February, my cousin Marvin Alonso and I began posting infographics on our IG and Facebook pages, his over at Mag the Historian and mine over at the Professor's Kitchen. These infographics were regarding lesser known people in Black history. We spent a lot of time compiling a list of names from people across the African diaspora, writing bios and pairing them with photos. And we were cognizant of the fact that we wanted both cisgender and gender nonconforming voices to come through in our work. For those of you who know us, you probably noticed that we included a few family members in that list. In fact, the very last person that we featured in our Black History Month post was a cousin, Virgil Hardiman. He had an absolutely horrific story that I thought about expanding to tell here at the Professor's Kitchen YouTube page, but I wasn't really sure that I could get through the whole thing without breaking down, kind of like I did in the Amos Moore video. So to spare you all of my sobbing, I just chose not to do the extended version of Virtus's story. I will try to tell you a little bit about him now, but I apologize in advance if I get a little choked up. Virtus was born in Lyle Station, Indiana, which is one of the earliest Black settlements in the United States, and to this day is still home to a significant number of our relatives. If you ever get a chance to visit, you're likely to run into a Madison, Lyles, or Hardiman somewhere in the town. When Virtus was about 5 years old, county hospital officials came around and told parents that they were testing a new treatment for dermatophytosis, a fungal infection commonly known as ringworm. In fact, Virtus became the worst affected guinea pig in a government-sanctioned radiation experiment. Due to the overuse of radiation during the experiment, Hardiman spent the next 80 years of his life changing bandages, wearing hats, and using toupees to cover the gaping hole left by the slowly dissolving bone matter in his skull. Despite the pain, he worked hard, invested well, and never complained. More than 70 years later, he finally broke his silence to a friend, Wilbert Smith, who partnered with Brett Leonard in 2011 to produce the documentary Hole in the Head, A Life Revealed. Despite everything he went through, Virtus harbored no anger and was known to say frequently, "If I am angry, my prayers will not be answered because my heart's not right." Virtus lived his last years in Altadena, California, and died there at age 85. Sources say that upon his death, he bequeathed $8 million to his church and favorite educational scholarship fund. After ending February in such a big way, we jumped right into March and Women's History Month by spotlighting some lesser-known women. Again, we tried to be mindful of the legacies of those involved, as well as cultural and gender issues. We weren't always perfect, but we accepted feedback, learned from our mistakes, and made the necessary changes as we went. There were a lot of late nights spent poring over bios and deciding what information to include and what information to exclude. And let me tell you, it was really hard for some of these women because they had done so much. I just didn't know what to include and what to exclude. I wanted to put everything in there. Ultimately, everything had to be narrowed down to just a few slides because you know how people learn. That was definitely the case with activist and cousin Fannie Lou Hamer. Born Fannie Lou Townsend in Montgomery County, Mississippi, she was the last of 20 children of her sharecropper parents. In 1944, she married Perry Hamer, and the couple labored on a Mississippi plantation until 1962. Due to her ability to read and write, she also served as the plantation timekeeper. In 1961, Hamer received a hysterectomy by a white doctor without her consent while undergoing surgery to remove a uterine tumor. This forced sterilization of Black women was so prevalent at the time it was called a Mississippi appendectomy. Unable to have children of her own, the Hamers adopted 2 daughters. Between 1962 and 1971, Hamer joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, was arrested for sitting in a whites-only bus station restaurant, was brutally beaten in jail, leaving her with lifelong injuries from a blood clot in her eye and kidney and leg damage. She co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party and the National Women's Political Caucus. She also helped organize Freedom Summer, announced her candidacy for the Mississippi House of Representatives, became one of the first Black women to stand in the U.S. Congress, began a pig bank to provide free pigs to Black farmers, launched the Freedom Farm Cooperative to buy land that Blacks could own and farm collectively, and supervised the building of 200 units of low-income housing. In 1972, Hamer was hospitalized for nervous exhaustion. Like, duh. She did a lot. She was tired. And in 1974, she suffered a nervous breakdown. She died in 1977 from complications from hypertension and breast cancer at the age of 59. Her tombstone is engraved with one of her most famous sayings, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." 'Cause me too. I'm so proud of the information we put together and put out there for people to see and share, but I am definitely tired. So tired. If you're interested in checking out the last few posts for Women's History Month, I will include links to Marvin Alonso and my Facebook and Instagram pages so that you can check out the last couple of posts that we have over there. They are pretty interesting. I think we, again, go out on a bang, so check them out. And now for the exciting news. I received some great feedback from my students on ways I can improve the channel by incorporating some of these videos into my lessons. Each semester, I try to change up the curriculum just a little bit, adding things, taking things out that maybe didn't work. And it's all in an effort to keep my students really engaged. And now, of course, with COVID, it's more important than ever for them to feel connected to each other as well. Often I learn as much from them as they learn from me, and this semester is no exception. Because I teach adults, we often have a lot of things in common, like being married and having kids, and escaping reality through podcasts and YouTube channels, specifically ones related to true crime. I have a few true crime aficionados in my classes this semester, which I'm very excited about, because I've really gotten into the true crime YouTube pages where it's true crime and makeup together. And even though I'm not very good at doing my own makeup, and I'm like garbage at doing my own makeup, I'm trying to learn. I like learning things, and I love true crime stories. I'll link some of my favorite YouTube channels below, like Brittany Vaughn and Sarah from Better Off Red and Bailey Sarian, and also recently Cyd B over on her YouTube channel has been doing a makeup and history together. And I think she does that maybe once a month, but those are pretty interesting too. Again, I'll include those links in the description box below so you can check them out. But since I cook and bake better than I do my own makeup, see me, sans makeup, because I'm lazy, I thought I would play to my strengths and try to do a true crime and cooking or baking. And since I teach American literature and composition, I thought it might be fun to start with some of the authors that I teach in my courses that are linked to crimes. My dear and loving husband, that's a literature reference just in case you didn't catch it, suggested the title Dinner Crime. So we're going to go with that because it's brilliant and he's brilliant and I love him. What? Who does that? So if you enjoy true crime stories and literature or food, don't forget to subscribe to the channel today so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. They are going to be wild and crazy and just off the wall, like stuff that you would not even believe that canonical authors and stuff would do. What? They're nuts. Thank you again for all of the love and support. I really, 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 truly appreciate it. And I've had so much fun doing this. This is such a great creative outlet for somebody like me who's a little bit of an introvert, but also really loves history and cooking. I'm having fun, and I hope you're having fun and you're enjoying me doing this and watching me, listening to me do this. I hope so. I hope you like it. Thank you for all the love and support, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.